Good morning, everybody, and excuse me. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I know it has been a really long time. I really wish that you would get out. Please. Sit. Sit. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I'm really sorry that it has been quite some time since I have uploaded a video. I promise I'm not losing steam. I've just had lots on in the last few weekends, and so anyway, this video, I started making it 2 weeks ago, and I thought I was going to have it done and dusted in a day and on here for you, but I didn't, and that is because I was chalk painting a coffee table, insert picture, and I was sanded it down, painted it, waxed it, all that stuff, and I thought that I would get this all done in a day because, you know, it's not that hard, but it is so cold and damp here at the moment that the paint took forever to dry. I even got my hairdryer out in the garage to dry it. Also, I nearly got frostbite, so I hope you guys can appreciate that, because at one stage I had to do the paint early in the morning before I went to work, and I literally could not feel my hands at all. So I'm pretty sure that justifies me as almost having frostbite. Anyway, and so here is the before of the coffee table. Looking a little rough there, but she's ready to be beautiful. So the first thing I'm going to do is get Josh to help me take these screws out, because teamwork is key, right? Just pop those out of there. They come out fairly easy, but they didn't. Now I'm just going to do a light sanding all over. No muscle required. It's like rubbing it with a towel, except it's sandpaper. Really straightforward. And then after that, I'm just going to give it a quick wipe down with a damp cloth just to get all that dust off. Okay guys, so I'm in my garage in my finest clothing, as you can see. It's friggin' freezing, by the way, so that's why I have a painting old shitty sweatshirt over my fleece here. So what I'm doing is just prepping my initial colour for the coffee table. I've got a little bit of paint in the bucket here. I'm using this colour called Toasty, and it's just like a standard wall paint. I think it's a Valspar one. And then I just mixed a little bit of plaster of Paris with water. So you would do 1/3 of a cup of water to 1/3 of a cup of plaster of Paris to 1 cup of your paint here. I have found that I can only get away with that ratio if I'm doing like a dark colour, like a really bright or dark colour. The paint seems to be a lot runnier. So I did a little bit of research, and I found out that the reason why it may go really thick and clumpy and awful is that the lighter colours have a lot more primer in them, and they don't like the plaster of Paris. So I find if I'm using a really light colour, I just use a tiny bit of plaster of Paris, a tiny bit of water, and really slowly mix tiny bits in at a time, and it doesn't really need a lot. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tip her in here. Just a little bit to start with, because I have a feeling this one has a lot of white in it. It's already thickening up a fair bit. I don't know, you probably can't see without me like tipping it out, so we just won't stress too much about that. Little tipple. Not much, or we'll end up with a disaster like when I did my bedside tables and I had big clumps of nasty, bubbly, awful looking paint. So this looks really good now. It really only had the tiniest bit of plaster in, and I'm not going to go any further because then it won't set very well, so I've got to find a nice wee spot for you guys to have a look at what I'm painting. I'm really sorry about the sunlight and whatnot. There's not a lot I can do about that right now because I can't move this by myself. not apply this with any skill at all because I don't have a lot. Little tip, make sure your shitty ass brush doesn't drop its bloody bristles and your dang paint. Probably a good idea to invest in some high quality brushes, which clearly I have not done. I like to use what's lying around, you know, it's nice that way. So now that this is all painted with its first coat, we're going to do these drawers here, and they are going to be light blue. I really hope these colours work together. Blue. It's like the colour of the sky. Okay, so here's what we got. We got 4 nicely blue painted drawers. They've all just got their first coat on. They're going to take a little while to dry today because it's cold and not very warm and stuff just doesn't dry. I also painted this cute little pot here. It was just the colour of the inside and it was old and manky, but I want something to put my pretty little plant on for on top of the coffee table. So it's going to match the drawers. Maybe it'll be too matchy, hopefully it won't. A small tip, this here is my pots of paint that with the leftover paint in, so I put it in a plastic bag so that it will last a few hours. Homemade chalk paint you can't really reuse, but in this kind of weather it will last a few hours as long as you put it in a plastic bag out of the oxygen. So it's a few days later now because it took forever for these coats to dry. I did 3 coats on this bad boy. She's looking pretty good. So now I just have to do the distressing and the waxing. So I haven't tried one of these techniques before, so it could be interesting. So I'm just going to take my sandpaper here and do a little bit of sanding. I don't want to do too much because I don't want to distress it to the point where the wood from underneath comes out, because the wood colour underneath is ugly. So I just want to basically put a couple of scratches in so the dark wax will sit in there, and so I'll do it very gently. Okay, so I will also get some thicker sandpaper, which is not here right now. I'll get some thicker stuff and take a few like gougey kind of bits, gentle gouges. This here is the big boy sandpaper. I think it's off a band, like one of those electric big sandpaper things. Anyway, I'm just going to use like a wee clean edge of it and just take a few bigger scratches. The thing I really like about distressing is that because you're putting scratches and shit in it anyway, if you get any of that kind of shit happening in the house, like in your day-to-day life, it will just blend in and no one will know that damage has occurred. But I really am just... we went through. So I have to be very gentle, clearly. So as you can see, I've done just a wee bit of distressing here and there, nothing too major. I don't want it to look too old and shitty. And now I've got to do the drawers. Just doing a light re-sand over with my finer sandpaper. Then I get my bigger sandpaper, a little bit of gouging, particularly from where the handles go. I think it's quite nice to have a bit more scratchy. Realistic distressing, clearly. Don't worry about that noise, that's the washing machine. You do the housework while you have fun, apparently. So once you've done your distressing stuff, I'm just going to wipe everything off with an old t-shirt or cloth. Once again guys, it's friggin' freezing in here. That's why I'm wearing these thick threads. So here we go with this new technique that I haven't tried. I don't have a proper wax brush, so I'm going to use my cheap, nasty, fairly stiff, bristly brush here, and I just hope that it works. So I'm going to dip into my black wax here. It's pretty firm today because it's freezing. And I'm just going to paint in this crevice here. And paint under there as well for a little bit of a shadowage. And in this crevice over here. And along here. We'll just do this section for now. So then apparently what you do, you get your sweet rag here, dip into your clear wax. I'm using the Sloan wax, by the way, if anybody is interested, wants to know. And then you basically wax it back over it. You're kind of using your clear wax to rub off the black wax. But obviously it stays in the crevice. And I will say it seems to be working. And it is good to have a massive cloth because you're going to need to keep getting a clean section, otherwise you'll just spread the black wax around, which you don't want if you want all this stuff to look quite clean, which I do. So yeah, I'm going to do that and I will give you a close-up of the results shortly. So I ended up doing about 3 coats of paint on this. Also, the wax, you do need to make sure that the clear was completely covering all of the paint so that you protect it from water and just scratching in general. And that also needs to cure for 24 hours before you use it, just to make sure that you have it thoroughly protected from thrills and spills, of course. I also forgot to show you putting the handles back on. I feel like that's reasonably straightforward though. You get a screwdriver and you screw them back in. You can do it. Wow, that was so much fun. I really hope that that was helpful to anyone that might be looking at doing a little bit of DIY on the cheap side. I got the coffee table for free. Someone gave it to me. They didn't want it anymore, so it was really cool to be able to transform that and make it fit in my living room a little bit better. I'm not huge on the plain wood look. Don't ask me why. I just would prefer the chalk paint. So yeah, it looks awesome in my living room. I love having it there. It was fun to do. It was a lot more time consuming than I ever expected it to be, but hey, we got there in the end and it looks pretty, and that's all that we need to know. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you subscribe. You will notice that I changed the name of my channel and also my Facebook page. This is just in preparation, I guess, for my kind of brand, so I didn't want to have too many different names of things going on everywhere. So while superhero maybe doesn't relate so much to the painting side of things, I thought I should just stick with one. So yeah, and I also, do you know what, I noticed the other day that one of my videos, the Lime Crime makeover video, it hit 312 views, and I know what you're thinking, that is sweet air but to me that's a lot, and that is the most views I've had on a video yet, and I know I'm only just starting, so I'm hoping that will climb up and up. But I appreciate every single one of those views, and I want to thank everybody that, you know, watches even some of my videos. A view is so important to me, so thank you so much for your support, and make sure you keep watching more videos of mine.